Okay, we are going to call our special meeting together. And Connor, would you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Here.
Commissioner Hubrights, Commissioner Edison Smith, Commissioner Lieben,
Here.
and Commissioner Western.
Present.
Thank you. I do want to note that because this is a special meeting, we're not able to change the agenda, so we won't have any additions to the agenda. And also, we won't have any public comments at this meeting because those are reserved for our regular meetings, of which we will have in about 2 weeks. I want to welcome everybody here. Mark's on the screen, but everyone else is here in the room. And now we have a brand new five-member commission now. And so I'm with the seniority. My first meeting was in December. And then Jared and Mark attended their first meeting. Was it January or February?
I think it was
January. Okay, so we're the old experience guys. And Kelly was appointed about a month ago,
Yeah.
but first meeting. And then Lisa has 2 days under her belt now. And Lisa hasn't had the opportunity to get any onboarding, but she's signed her oath. So she's totally good today, good to go. I don't know if Ron Goodman is watching us or not, but I do want to give a big public shout out thank you to Judge Ron Goodman. He has been on this commission since the inception of the Ethics Commission, and he was the first chair, and I think he was chair for a long time, and currently he is vice chair. So we're going to need to elect a new vice chair. It's not going to be today, though. We're going to do it at our regular meeting on the 22nd. I would like for all of us to go around the room, and for our new commissioners, just say just a couple things about yourself, and everyone else, whatever you can say, so that they can get to know you a little bit. And I think I'll just start at this end of the table with Lisa, and then we'll do our commissioners first, and after Kelly, we'll go to Mark. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, and we have to turn our mics on when we talk.
I'm Lisa Edison Smith. I'm from Milner, North Dakota, originally down way southeastern part of the state, graduate of NDSU. I'm an attorney. I've been with the Vogel Law Firm for 29 years, and I have the distinction of working. My son is my boss now, so that makes for interesting dynamics. I have 2 grown children, and my favorite title is grandma. I have a 9-year-old grandson and a 6-year-old granddaughter, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity and working with y'all.
Thanks, Madam Chair. I'm Jared Hubrights. I work here in Bismarck at an engineering firm. The primary portion of my life right now is I have 2 small kids, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. So our schedules are full with t-ball and soccer and gymnastics and dance. And I consider it a major responsibility and an honor to be on the commission. I look forward to working with everybody.
Pam Sharp here, and I have 4 adult children and 8 grandchildren ranging in age from 3 to 15. So they're a lot of fun. Just got to spend a bunch of time with them. Career in state government. And like I said, I've been here since December. So.
Good morning. I'm Kelly Lieben. I've been with the Burleigh County Sheriff's Department for 36 years, the last 8 years as the sheriff. I'm officially retiring December 31st. And I currently have 2 daughters. My wife and I have 2 daughters, a son-in-law and a grandson. So like Commissioner Lisa said, the title of grandpa is pretty awesome, as you said, Madam Chair. And so I'm excited to be on this commission. I've followed this commission pretty much since inception because it's an area I take a lot of interest in. So I'm excited and I love the diversity of the backgrounds that serve on this board.
We'll go to Mark.
My name is Mark Western. I originally hail from Stanley, North Dakota, and I came from a farm family. I, like Commissioner Edison Smith, am an attorney. I serve as a mediator. I have two daughters, aged 13 and 15, one of which is at French camp right now, one of which is at a debate camp right now. And I think that's all I've got for now. It's a privilege to serve on the Ethics Commission.
Ashley, can we just move over and start at this end and then we'll work our way this way?
Yes, my name is Ashley Wool. I'm the legal intern and I am going to be a 3L. I'm originally from Bismarck and I went to UND for undergrad as well as law school.
Hi, everyone. I'm Faith Scheuer. I'm also from Bismarck. I'm a 3L at UND right now. I got my undergrad and master's degree at NDSU, and I've been really enjoying my summer here. It's been a lot of fun.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Logan Carpenter. I serve as general counsel for the commission. I've been with the commission for 3 years almost. I started in the fall of 2023. I grew up on a horse ranch outside of Bismarck and went to rural school in North Dakota and been a North Dakotan my whole life. And I really enjoy working here, and I'm really looking forward to working with all the new faces on the commission too.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rebecca Binstock, and I have the privilege of serving as Executive Director for the Commission. And I have been with the Commission since September of 2022, so just a year before Logan. And what else about me? I grew up in Bismarck, like Ashley and Faith, and moved away for college and went to UND Law School. Have a master's degree in education that I use all the time. But other than that, my husband and I have 3 kids, and that's about it. But I'm really looking forward to having everybody get started on work and looking forward to working with all of you.
My name is Connor Martin. I'm the business intern. I'm originally from Bismarck, North Dakota, where I graduated from Shiloh Christian. And this next August, I'm going into my 3rd year at NDSU.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have 4 sets of minutes to approve. We have minutes from the May 20th meeting, which was, May 20th was a regular meeting. May 28th, we had a special meeting. June 10th, we had a special meeting. And June 17th, we had a special meeting. So I'll ask, does anyone have any edits or changes to any of those sets of minutes?
Madam Chair, other than a handful of just immaterial changes, the one I would like to bring to everyone's attention is May 20 minutes, item number 5, part C, Charlie, the second paragraph toward the bottom. There's a part that says, and what the I rule is. Just remove the I, just so we're clear of what we're trying to say there. That's the only edit that I have of the minutes.
Thank you. Can we just make that change as we're speaking and, okay, consider it fixed. Anything else? Then I would entertain a motion for approval. Do we need a motion for this? Or is
We
it
do.
just a motion and a second?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the meeting minutes from the May 20th, 2026 regular meeting as edited, May 28th, 2026 special meeting, June 10th, 2026 special meeting, and June 17th, 2026 special meeting. I yield.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We've had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The motion has passed. And we will move on to our operations report. And I'm going to turn that over to Rebecca.
Well, good morning again, commissioners. So in our operations, this is an abbreviated operations report for the special meeting. There are 2 items that need to be, or we want to update you guys on and discuss. You will notice online is Victoria Nicholson, who is our communications. I'm going to call her liaison, Jane of all trades when it comes to communications. She has stepped up and has really provided support to the commission, particularly in the communications, but also I want to say it's even been more than that, not just in what communications go out, but working on the website. She has filled a much needed capacity issue that we have in the office. And so Victoria's online. So I'm going to give kind of a brief overview in our education and outreach update of what the commission, what us as staff, what we did when the travel rules rolled out. So we call it the travel rules rollout. These went out, or these were effective July 1st. So we really wanted to make sure that public officials had information prior to July 1st. So you can see we did kind of just a bullet point of this is what our goals were and this is what we did. So you will see I passed out to the commissioners. Mark, I apologize that you are not here and you cannot see, but what was that? We'll mail you one, Logan said. But we did send out postcards to all statewide elected officials. So the statewide elected and then also the legislators, they received these with a handwritten note on the back from our interns from the team, encouraging them to reach out if they have questions, but also to file those travel disclosures on the website. So this was Victoria's idea. It was great. There's been positive reception from the public officials that they now have this. They can use it. They can scan the QR code to get to what we call the public or the travel disclosure landing page. So there you have all of the information on the travel disclosure rules in one resource. So those went out at the beginning of June. There was also an email that went out to different groups with webinar dates, with the link to the landing page, with a timeline of when resources were going to be available, and an overview of information that was going to be available as well. Then on June 16th, we hosted a webinar for the public, meaning anybody could attend. Victoria probably has the exact numbers on attendance for that, but I think it was around 140. Victoria, you can chime in, and Connor may have to give you permission to speak, but to share. But if that's different, let us know. And then specifically on June 17th, the next day, we did a webinar just for filers, walking them through the form, what information they needed to include. We did get a lot of good questions from that webinar. And then since we've also had some questions on specifics about what to include, when to include it, et cetera. On June 24th, all the materials were available on the travel disclosure landing page. I'm going to pull that up here in just a second. They went into effect on July 1st. And then now coming up next week, and then at the end of July, we are going to be holding virtual office hours for filers. So we're not answering questions about, do I need to file, but I need help filing, what do I do? So we will be doing that on twice in July because the first kind of round of filers should be coming in around July 15th. And then again, we are holding that in August, again, August 19th. We actually already received our first filing. On July 2nd, we did have a travel disclosure filed with the commission, and then we've gotten another one since. So with that, I'm having an issue logging into the meeting, Connor, so maybe I can just have you pull that up on the website. Oh, you're already sharing your screen, it looks like. I did not give Connor prior notice of this, so. And then if you can share that screen now. All right. So this is, this looks a little bit different. Good job, Connor. Connor's logged into the website, so it does look slightly different than it does to the public viewer, but you will see that everything is there. We have a little blurb that we've tried to make this very straightforward for people. And then on the right, you will see all of these drop-down menus where you can pull up the rules, you can pull up the statements that have been filed. Those have not been entered yet, but they will be. And then we have a quick guide that we created. And then you also have the information from the webinars, and then as well as reminders on the office hours. So everything is in one page for people. If they have questions, this is where they go to get that. Any questions? Or Victoria, perhaps you have thoughts to share on this. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like I can unmute now. Thank you, Connor. I appreciate that. Rebecca, you've done an eloquent job in describing our rollout for the travel rules. You were spot on with the attendance, about 140 for our general. We were about 100, I think 9 or 10 for the filer webinar. And it's just been really, I think, a fantastic response, not just for what we're seeing for like digital engagement, but one of the hiccups that we did have with Teams was registration. And, you know, all of the folks felt really comfortable just reaching out to, you know, the commission, myself, and just saying, hey, I need help. And I think we've created a significant pathway for the commission with the travel rules, and just having that dialogue and making it a comfortable space for people, not an accusatory space. And so I think we'll see consistent results with our filers following the expectations based on, you know, just their early results and metrics.
Any questions, comments, concerns from the commissioners?
I would just say, like to say that was a job very well done and very smooth. And our goal is to make sure all the legislators and elected officials know what to do. So I think you've done a fine job in telling them.
Thank you.
I really want to emphasize with the commission how important it was to have Victoria on board during that rollout, particularly because we are down a staff with Addie out of the office. Having Victoria, I know that she put in some long hours, and we all really worked together to get it out on time, especially with unexpected things that came up in the schedules as well. So huge thank you and shout out and praise to Victoria for helping us and really having great ideas along the way.
And for our 2 new commission members, Victoria works at OMB, and her position is a new position for this biennium, and it is to help agencies with communication things. And so we're really, really fortunate to have her services available to us. So thanks again, Victoria. And we don't need any action on, that was just a report. So I think we will move on to our human resources update, and Rebecca's going to take the lead on that as well.
Okay. Thank you, Chair Sharp. So I included a little bit of history for the new commissioners on this one. This position, I'm going to call it, we've gone chutes and ladders in all sorts of different directions on how to get the ideas. We need more attorney or more legal time in order to get through our workload. And so we have had a few different iterations of how do we do this. And it culminated in February with let's post a law clerk position for 1 year post-graduation from law school, hopefully to correspond with typical judicial clerkship timeframes. And we envisioned matching the salary of the North Dakota Supreme Court clerks, having it very similar to that. So we did work that into our budget. We did post the position. There were 3 applicants, Chair Sharp and General Counsel Carpenter. They did conduct the interviews for those. I disqualified myself because of a personal relationship. We have not offered any applicant a position at this time. And really it is because we are trying to move forward and figure out whether this individual needs to be appointed as a special assistant attorney general. It's my position as executive director that I would not seek that because they are serving in a law clerk position, but this could create a bit of a unique situation for us. So really the goal of bringing somebody on was to get more attorney time. Well, enter our legal interns for the summer. We have 2 legal interns. They've introduced themselves today, Faith and Ashley, who started with the commission about 6 weeks ago. And during their time, both of them have completed exceptional legal product for us for Logan's review, and really have demonstrated their ability to conduct initial reviews and get through complaint work, as evidenced by the number of complaints on the agenda today. So I have in the back of my head, the thought of why fix something that's not broken? And if it's working well, let's keep doing it. So I approached both Ashley and Faith, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, and said, hey, if we did this, if we kept you on during the school year to the extent that we can, would either of you be open to it? And I did give them time to think about it, maybe a few days. And they agreed. They said that they would both love to do that. They do like working with the commission, at least that's what they tell us. And so the idea would be that we would keep these 2 on during the school year. Faith would be able to be with us in the fall. Ashley would be able to be with us the whole school year. And I think that they would be about, and these are estimates, be able to do approximately about 65% of the work that would fall to a full-time law clerk position. But you can see that there's a significant cost savings to that. And more than anything, I think it comes down to the fact that we have people in place who know what they're doing. And Logan has done an exceptional job of training them and walking them through the forms that we have and how things happen. They've also really asked good questions when there is a legal issue with a complaint. So having the no need to onboard a new law clerk and have minimal continued training, that is a time savings that we just really can't put into or translate well to a number. So with that, I'm proposing that we actually do not hire a law clerk for the 1-year position, but instead utilize and continue utilizing our law clerks that we currently have and that are willing to stay with us.
Yeah, just Madam Chair, thank you, Rebecca, for the explanation. In my eyes, considering the cost savings, the training time that would be saved, and also the number of complaints that Ms. Wool and Ms. Scheuer have been able to get on the agenda for today, I think this is a no-brainer. One question for you, Rebecca or Logan. Can you tell me a little more about the need or the non-requirement to appoint them as a special assistant attorney general? Is that a for sure thing, or is that we're not sure yet?
Commissioner Hubright, so that would have been for the law clerk. If we have interns.
The interns don't need to at all.
That's
Okay,
correct.
Thank you.
They are not licensed attorneys. So, and they do report, all of their work product goes through Logan or myself, mostly Logan. I step in when Logan's on vacation.
And any other comments? Well, I would just like to say, I think it's just a wonderful idea. And I want to thank our 2 law clerks for being willing to take a part-time job during the school year and continue this work. We really appreciate it. And Rebecca, we really appreciate you figuring this out as for the cost savings and just the efficiency of everything. We do need a motion to approve this. So I would entertain any motion by one of the commissioners.
This is Jared. I would move to approve the continuation of 2 legal internships through the 26-27 school year in lieu of hiring a law clerk.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Any discussion? Okay, Connor, would you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Yes.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Yes.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Lieben,
Yes.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes. Moving on to ongoing business. This is our budget request, and I will say that Rebecca has been working ardently and furiously on this budget. This is not one of her normal duties. She's not a budget person, but Addie is, and she's on maternity leave. So Rebecca has been working on the budget, and she is going to go through the budget with you, and particularly our decision packages for our additional requests. So Rebecca, I will turn that over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Chair Sharp. I'm going to try and log on here. It did something funny before, but I'm going to try again because this will be easier for me to navigate. Okay, there we go. So let me pull this up for the public. Get it a little bit bigger for you all. Okay, so it is budget season. So before our operations administrator, Addie Mose, before she did go on maternity leave, she worked through a lot of the numbers that you will see in attachment 6, which is an Excel document with all of the numbers, our calculations, and then our decision packages and alternatives to decision packages as well. So you will see that the Commission's 27-29 legislative appropriation is just shy of 1.4 million. It's $1,368,616. This base budget removed the one-time appropriations that the Commission received. That was a $50,000 appropriation for the case management system, and then approximately $2,384 for a cabinet for storage that was one-time funded. They also had some added NDIT and FTE. NDIT, which is our IT costs from the state, and then FTE pool funds to calculate the Commission's base budget. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Our actual biennium, I have this in here wrong. This was supposed to be 25-27. Legislative appropriation was 1.368. The new one for 27-29 is 1,322,107. So we have in our budget request, and what we spoke about at the last meeting is approximately 8 decision packages. I think we actually had it as 9, and I ended up, after talking with Chair Sharp, combining a few of them and then adding an additional one that came up as we ran the numbers. We also are required to submit a decision package, which is a 3% reduction from our 25-27 budget. So this is the breakdown of the decision packages, which is equivalent to what will we be asking the legislature for in additional funding come 27 legislative session, which is right around the corner. So based on the Commission's discussion at its May meeting, the May 20th meeting, the number one priority is additional legal time in the form of a legal FTE. So we call it legal. We have the language in there, assistant legal counsel. This would be somebody who is prime focus of doing initial reviews, getting through complaint work, because that should be done in a very timely fashion. And then also providing support to Logan on the legal research and other general counsel work that comes his way. So you will see that the total ask for that FTE is going to be $264,441. There is an offset in here. So you will notice there is a professional fees offset of $20,000. The reason that is because there is a number of times that we have to have either outside counsel or an acting executive director if Logan or I have conflicts on a complaint. And so that would likely be minimized by adding an additional counsel who wouldn't be conflicted and who could potentially serve in those roles. So introducing another person reduces or at least allows us to mitigate the potential conflicts that we have. So we have, and we're also not going to need to send out as much legal work to our outside counsel. So I anticipated a savings of approximately $20,000 on that. Any questions specifically on this FTE? It is the priority one, and I just want to verify that that's what the commission, where the commission wants it for presentation or submission to OMB.
Rebecca, if I could just take 30 seconds for Commissioners Lieben and Edison Smith. So we've been talking about the budget for months. And I'm of the opinion, and I'm comfortable saying this, that Commissioners Sharp and Western agree, the commission needs more staff. But we're in an environment where the governor has asked agencies to actually produce a budget that shows a 3% reduction in budget. So we understand that we may not get everything we ask for, and that's why we have multiple packages that could build on each other if they decide to give us multiple of these. But the number one thing that we think the commission needs is another attorney to assist Logan with all the work that he has in front of him. Just wanted to give that background, but yes, Rebecca, that would be, at least for me, the first priority.
I agree with Commissioner Hubrights. I yield.
I will just say, yes, Commissioner Hubright said that very well. You know, getting through the complaints is certainly mission critical. So it has to be. That's why we figured it really has to be number one. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to priority number 2. This is an education administrator FTE. We can change the name of this. That's kind of boring, education administrator. We came up with that last legislative session. I might talk with Victoria about coming up with a better title for that. But a person, an individual within our office who can focus on education. The idea of this is the fact that we want to prevent ethical issues and not address them after the fact. And the only way to do that is to have education and to have somebody who is an educational resource for the regulated community. This is a very common practice in other ethics commissions. I use the Texas Ethics Commission as an example. You can call them up and you can talk to one of their attorneys whenever their office is open. I'm not suggesting that this person is an attorney. I think an educator who has the ability to learn the legal ins and outs from Logan and I will be a great fit for this position. But this is outlined. I do think that we have seen a small portion of the capabilities or the increased capacity with the use of Victoria's time, that just in the small amount that we've been able to use Victoria, I think it's given us a glimpse into what if we had an education person, how much more information we could be getting out to the public and to the regulated community. Victoria, do you have anything to add on that one?
Well, I think with that, we can really point to the travel rules rollout and what I've been able to add as additional capacity the last quarter. And, again, like any person that comes into this role, I've had some learning to do with, the terminology and all the legalese of your, the commission's role. But that being said, like you were doing, really great, like quarterly Dakota dilemmas, but we've been able to add, kind of that secondary series where it's segmented. With an additional person, you're able to you continue that segmentation, but also meet like ADA compliance, diverse learning needs, all of those things that come with the additional capacity. And so it's truly that proactive approach that meets the needs of the people, the needs of the legislators, and just really, honing in and, being in that prevention versus reactive state for the commission. And it will, I think, in my opinion, it'll, help you guys do what you do better with like complaints and all of those things, because you're going to have a more educated, whether it's, the legislators or the general public, of like what is, actually a conflict of interest, what is, violations of those gift rules, because you're going to have that education more diversified and more available.
I would just like to add, thank you, Victoria. I would like to add that previous commissioners have identified this as a very important role. And I think this will be the third time that we're asking for this position. I'm not sure if it's the third or fourth. I'll turn that to Rebecca, but we have long identified this position as being very, very important. That's why it's number 2.
Yes, so Chair Sharp, this will be the third time that we are asking for this position. I will say in 2023, we were given an additional FTE. We were asking for somebody to help with education, because that was the primary focus that the commission wanted me to focus on when I came into this role. But we also had a significant uptick in complaints at the time. So it was trying to balance that. So the solution that the legislature and the commission came up with was hiring an attorney. And the idea at that point was that Logan's position would be approximately 50% educator, 50% attorney. What ended up becoming an issue is that the complaints kept going up and the legal work kept going up. And so the education had to go down. And eventually the commission had to say, direct the staff that you have to end all of the education and outreach. We used to do a lot of presentations. We used to do a newsletter that would go out quarterly with updates. And we had to put all of that on the back burner because complaints had to take front and center. So that's the history of it. Any additional questions or comments on that one? So number 3 is increased office space rent costs. This is kind of just we need to add it. This is going to be dependent on whether there are additional FTEs that come in or whether the legislature gives us those FTEs. For those of you who have been in our office, it is not a large space. It is quite small. And so I did reach out to to Brandon and get numbers on how much space we need for additional staff. And the need would be approximately 1,100 square feet. And so the cost of that would be $38,000 versus our approximately $25,000 that we pay now. So there will be a slight increase. I did ask about renovation costs. The last time we moved into our office space in the Capitol, we had approximately $25,000 in renovation costs to move into it from the office up north. However, now there is a rent, moving, and space reconfiguration pool in OMB's budget that we would very likely be able to tap into. So if there is additional funds needed, we would coordinate with OMB and Brandon Solberg to see if we needed to ask for those during legislative session. I have on the memo that we requested verification. I received verification yesterday afternoon that we should likely not need anything more. This is also if there is a way to reconfigure our current space so we wouldn't need to move, that would be fantastic. But Jared's giving me the stink eye. I don't know if that's possible based on the tightness of our space. we are really feeling that this summer, just with the 3 additional interns and Logan and I all trying to work within our space.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Rebecca, one question for you, and I think you kind of alluded to it. Would the whole office move, or would you split the office?
Commissioner Lieben, that's a good question. What Brandon Solberg, who is the facilities manager, I'm blanking on his director, he indicated that we'd likely have to entirely move space because we can't add on, like we can't pull space in our office. And it would be easiest to have all of us in one space. So we're looking to stay within the same area on the 3rd floor, just into a little bit of a larger space. They are working with architects right now to redo some of the space configurations of the J-Wing. So they have us in the back of their head that if they find approximately 1,100 square feet or 1,200 square feet that they can get us into. We also have a statutory requirement that we don't share office space with other agencies. So we do need to maintain our own office space.
Madam Chair, and I'd just like to say that would be what I would push for, is to keep the office together. As an administrator that has 3 different locations, one location is ultimately the best. So thank you.
So moving on to priority number 4, which is commissioner and temporary salaries. These are additions, additional funds to what we already have, excuse me. So when we previously discussed the budget, this was split into 2 items. We've combined this into one, and that's because that's how we've presented it the last 2 legislative sessions to the legislature. And the reason we are going to be continuing to present this to the legislature, because there's always going to be an increase in commissioner salaries because of the statutory increase that happens. We take an average. It goes up maybe $5, $6. You guys get paid $5 or $6 more, but over the special meetings, the regular meetings, the COGL, that all adds up. So we will continue to need to ask for this. That is broke up into approximately $54,000 for summer and legislative interns. And then we have an additional 62 for commissioner salaries. The reason that this number is significantly more than it was during last legislative session is because the commission, based on its discussions in its strategic plan and its want to be more involved, is going to be attending more things. In previous legislative budget submissions, we also never included payment for COGL or payment to attend legislative meetings. And so that needs to be included based on the way or the policies on how the commissioners are paid. Any questions on that? Moving on to the next one, which is increased travel costs. So Addie ran these numbers, and we have since adjusted these a little bit. We did initially, I want to say, we were conservative in the sense that we made sure that we had enough, and then we scaled back based on recommendations from the commission. And so we currently have approximately $27,000 for travel. The commission anticipates doing more in-person meetings, which it has. Our travel costs have gone up. We have had more in-person meetings. And the commission wants to be doing those educational forums. I don't know if we'll be able to do coffee in every small town like Commissioner Western wants to do, but this at least gives us some funds for commissioners to get out there and interact with the public and the regulated community. And then this also, every time we have legislative meetings, we also have travel costs potentially associated with those. So this is an increase of $50,800 in the budget. We also only budgeted before only 1 commissioner attending COGL, and now the idea is that we'd like at least 3 commissioners to be attending COGL. So there is an additional travel cost with that as well. Any questions or concerns on that one? Oh, I can explain. Sorry. Yes, I can explain what COGL is. So COGL is the Council on Governmental Ethics Laws. It's a very long name. It's an annual conference. Well, it's an organization that has continuing education actually throughout the year. All of you, I just learned a few weeks ago, actually have sub accounts, meaning that you can get all of their updates, but it's not activated. So you will be starting to get those once we get Commissioner Edison Smith's email. Everybody will be getting those now. So you can sit in on their roundtables or their continuing education. They just had one this week on ensuring public trust in voting districts, et cetera. So they also host an annual conference that is 3 days packed full of educational information. Commissioner Sharp, or Chair Sharp, excuse me, attended last year along with the staff. But it's a good resource. It's also a way for us to connect with other ethics commissions and ask what issues they're seeing and share content, et cetera. That's sufficient. Yeah. Number 6 is professional development. This is, as we only have in our current budget, COGL registration fees for one commissioner. There is a significant cost to attending COGL. It's approximately $800 per person for the registration fee. They don't do vouchers or let us attend for free, et cetera. Even if you are presenting, you still have to pay to go to the conference. So we did have to increase the professional development in that area. We also have given our staff access to LinkedIn Learning as a way for them to develop either managerial skills or to learn more about state government and various things that LinkedIn Learning has. So that is it on the professional developments. The next one is the case management system. So I want to be really clear, these numbers are not from me. These numbers are from NDEC. I got them, we'll present the overall scope for the case management system. I got their numbers about, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And in order to build out, meaning finish building out the case management system, there's an additional $37,000 of one-time funding that's needed. But then once it is built out, or when the initial phase is done during this biennium, there will be continuing ongoing costs of $1,100 per month, which equates to $26,400 for the next biennium. So you will see case management system is $63,400. That number is from NDIT. I anticipate also that that number could go down when we have the request for information get back on the private side instead of having NDIT do all of the work. This is if NDIT built the system, maintained the system, and did everything in-house. So this number could go down. And then the last one is independent audit costs. This was an addition that the auditor's office has asked us to include. The cost of an independent audit as estimated by the auditor's office is approximately $35,000. So the total additions that the commission is asking for of these decision packages is just shy of $800,000.
Rebecca, I just, a couple of comments I want to make. First of all, I just want to talk a tiny bit about the independent audit costs that the auditor's office asked us to put in the budget. So the state auditor told us that they couldn't audit us anymore because there's a conflict of interest. And that conflict of interest is the fact that the state auditor is part of our regulated community. So for them to audit us would be a conflict of interest. So they gave us the $35,000 and we'll find a outside auditor with the auditor's help to do that audit. The other comment I would make, the $799, $329, those numbers might change by a few dollars one way or the other, just as the budget gets submitted and goes through what the validation process. They might call it something different now. I don't know, and they have to balance and tie out all the numbers. That might change by a few dollars. Nothing material, nothing significant. Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's all I had there. Okay,
yep, there's one other package. I just want to talk about one last one, and this is the required. We are required to submit It's called Decision Package 99, which is a 3% reduction. They're calling it a contingency 3% reduction. And for the Ethics Commission, it is equivalent to $39,598. So where would we find that money in our budget? Like we don't have $39,598 in our budget left over by any means. So we would take it from most likely from our professional fees, which is one of our significant line items within our budget. Just for historical perspective too, the commission's budget is one line. So they do not break ours up into salary, operating, special funds. Everything is general funded, one line. And so we can move things around as long as we're following legislative intent, which I typically check with our OMB analyst, Stephanie, on whether we can do that before we do move anything. But from this, that's where we would pull it from, is professional fees, because there's really nowhere else to pull it from.
Thank you, Rebecca. One other, related to the budget, one other thing I want to make everyone aware is that during the budget section committee, the Commerce and Legal Services Division, they had a meeting on the 24th, and the Attorney General's office did a presentation basically on attorney salaries, and one of the things they brought up for comparison was our ethics commissioner general counsel's salary. And they kind of put that discussion in the mix, talking about attorney salaries for the Attorney General's office without ever actually revealing Logan's salary. They didn't even talk about what it was, but they made some comparisons that were inaccurate, and there were some inaccurate statements. And I do plan on straightening that out with the Attorney General's office. There is a link for that testimony that's been in your, I think it's included in your materials. So I would encourage everyone to listen to that testimony. And more importantly, during the testimony that you're going to be listening to, towards the end, Chair Nathy requested that the Attorney General's office come up with a proposal to include putting all of the attorneys back into the Attorney General's office, including our Ethics Commission General Counsel attorney. That would have a significant impact on our budget and on the Ethics Commission as a whole. Likely what it would do if they did that would be to remove the FTE position we have for Logan, and then they would add an FTE position in the Attorney General's office and somehow fill that position. We totally oppose that. We would always oppose that because, well, number one, same conflict of interest that the state auditor has. The Attorney General is part of the regulated community that the Ethics Commission oversees. So I do plan on asking Chair Nathy if I can have a few minutes on their agenda at their next budget section subdivision meeting, which I would imagine is in September, because I do want to make those comments to that budget section to make them aware of our thoughts on that proposal. I don't know, does anyone else have any comments on that? Or I don't know if anyone's read or took the time to had the time to listen to the testimony, but if anyone has any comments, I would take those.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Mark.
Madam Chair, I did have the opportunity to review the testimony, and I don't want to spend a lot of time doing a deep dive on it at this point in time. I do agree with you that having legal counsel pulled out of the Ethics Commission creates a bunch of different interesting issues, some of them ethical, some of them managerial and otherwise. And I think it's appropriate for us to review any proposal provided by the Attorney General's office or anywhere else and respond appropriately when we have the opportunity to review anything. But I do think it is an unwise choice. I yield.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else?
I just want to say I agree with both of your comments, and I'm glad Pam or Commissioner Sharp and supportive of you meeting with that budget section committee.
Thank you. I'm going to look at Rebecca. Do we need, we do need a motion to approve the budget. So I would entertain a motion to approve the budget that Rebecca has just explained to us.
Madam Chair, I move to approve.
Thank you, Mark.
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Any more discussion about the budget? Any comments? More discussion? Okay, if not, Connor, would you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Yes.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
Okay, the motion has passed. Thank you. Okay, now, just give me 1 second. Okay, oh, public, yeah, I lost my way. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the discussion of our public priorities survey, and Rebecca is going to talk about that.
Thank you, Chair Sharp. So during the month of January, the Ethics Commission conducted a public survey. We provided a link on our website. It was conducted through Power BI, which is a Microsoft product. Individuals were able to submit their responses. It was originally not available to the public, and it was because of a licensing issue with Power BI. We worked that out with NDIT. NDIT actually brought the data together that was pulled from that survey. And I want to be very clear, it was a survey. It was just asking and gathering input really for the purposes of the commission deciding or determining what ethical issues mattered to North Dakotans and what what input we got. So with that, we were able to make that data available to the public. So we did in early June post that to the website. A news release sharing that data went out as well. The website, however, in response to that news release, there was some criticism of the methodology, I will call it. But in response to that, we wanted to make sure, of course, my internet is doing an update. We wanted to make sure that we were transparent about what the methodology was. So what we did, I will quick share my screen again. We will also now have to update our cover photo on the website with our new commissioners. So Mark, we look forward to having you all together again to get a picture. But if you go up to this public priorities survey on the commission's website, you will now still see the information. It is available there. You can link to that Microsoft Power BI. It has all sorts of tools within it that you can use, but also we provided this information down below about the methodology and what it really what it is, and that the results should be presented descriptively with appropriate methodological context and avoiding conclusions that imply causation or that really impute the results to the wider population or statewide representation. So I just wanted to give the commission an update that we've updated this to provide that information. Victoria, again, played a crucial role in getting this up to date and getting this website or getting this available on the website. That is the only update that I have on that.
Does anyone have any commissioners have any comments regarding the survey or the methodology?
Madam Chair, I do have a couple of observations to make and maybe to bring news up to newer members of the commission. But this issue had played out a little tiny bit in the media over last month, and the Ethics Commission was subject to, I guess, what I'd characterize as some healthy discussion about the methodology of the survey. And I had provided a guest column in the Fargo Forum on that issue. I think that we're a small entity in North Dakota, and I don't think anybody wants to pretend that this is a 100% scientific poll when it's not. But nevertheless, I think that the priorities survey is something that provides us with data and helps us understand some of the issues that people in North Dakota are interested about. It's not a poll, and it's appropriate to have that update on the website, not to construe it as such. But I just bring those things as updates. I yield.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you. Oh, next on the agenda is the update on the appointment process, but we have the results here. Kelly's sitting here and Lisa is sitting right there. So the appointments have been made. And we can all be thankful for that, and we can move on to the next item. The next item is a discussion of Executive Director Binstock's salary. So in the last meeting, we had to make a motion to approve the legislative salary increase for Rebecca. And Rebecca read the language too fast, and she read a 3 for a 2. So we approved a 2% salary increase for her. But in actuality, the legislative increase is 3%. So now we need to approve another 1% so that she gets the complete 3% salary increase that the legislature provided. So I would entertain a motion to approve another 1% salary increase for Rebecca.
I move to approve the additional 1% for Executive Director Binstock.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? If none, Connor, would you take the roll? Take the vote.
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Yes.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
Okay, great. Thank you. That was just a little bit of housekeeping, but no, that was that was easy. I'm looking at the time right now. We have later on, we were thinking that this meeting in total will maybe last about 4 hours. And coming up next, we're going to have 2 executive sessions. And I'm just wondering, do we want to take a break before those, or should we go through one of them and then take a break? Any thoughts? We believe the first one maybe will last about roughly 40 minutes. And then the second one will probably last an hour and a half. Thoughts? Preference? Okay, then I'm going to say let's go through the next executive session, and then we'll take a break before the final one. And I have some.
Chair Sharp will need a motion.
Yeah,
for
Madam
that.
Chair.
Yes, I'll need a motion to go into executive session.
Madam
Thank you.
Chair, I would move to enter executive session pursuant to North Dakota Century Code sections 44-04-19.1 and 44-04-19.2 for the purpose of attorney consultation regarding actions available to the commission, including litigation relating to Attorney General Opinion 25-L-03 and on the legal risks, strengths, and weaknesses of proposed actions of the commission regarding Attorney General Letter Opinion 25-L-03, which, if held in public, would have an adverse fiscal effect on the commission.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Mark.
Second.
Any discussion? Connor, will you take the vote?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Yes.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
So at this time, we ask. Okay, I got to read my stuff. Oh, we're going to take a roll call. Is this?
We did. We just did, we're good.
We
Now-
did. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
now
going to say everyone, are we in? Everyone is present.
We have to first go into executive session, Pam, so there's, yeah.
Okay.
Logan's coming.
Oh, I have to read this. Okay, I missed that. It's my first time. The commission has approved a motion to enter executive session for the purpose of attorney consultation regarding Attorney General Letter Opinion 2025 L03. The legal authority for closing this portion of the meeting is Century Code Sections 4404-19.1 and 4404-19.2. The executive session will be recorded, and all members of the governing body are reminded to limit their discussion during the executive session to the announced topic. Any collective decision, collective commitment, or other final action by the governing body must occur after it reconvenes in an open meeting. The prohibition on taking final action during the executive session does not apply to providing guidance or instructions to our attorney. We will now ask the members of the public who are attending the meeting to leave the meeting. We anticipate adjourning the executive session and reconvening the open portion of the meeting in approximately 40 minutes. The minutes will show that the executive session began at approximately 10:10, and was attended by Commissioner Laban, Commissioner Sharp, Commissioner Hubrights, Commissioner Edison Smith, and Commissioner Western. The minutes will show that the executive session was adjourned at 10:56. The public has been invited to return to the meeting, and we are now back in open session. At this time, I will entertain any motions.
Madam Chair, I move to direct commission staff to act as directed during the executive session.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mark. Any discussion? Connor, will you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Yes.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
Thank you. At this time, we are going to take a break before we come back and go into our next executive session. So I'm going to say 15 or 20 minutes. How does that sound with everyone? And then we'll be able to finish and not have to come back after lunch. So, okay, we'll say be back here, and by 20 minutes, we'll start again. Okay, we're back in session, and the next agenda item is advisory opinion request 2605 and 2606, and Logan's going to handle that.
Thank you, Chair Sharp. So I'll go through them one by one. You'll see in the meeting memo the policy that we use to process advisory opinion requests since they come in, and we have, per the statute that gives the commission the authority, we have 14 days to decide if we're going to issue an advisory opinion. So that's done by the chair in conjunction with the executive director. I'm reverse that. By the executive director in consultation with the chair. And then we give an update at the next meeting once that decision's made to issue an advisory opinion. We have two. I'm going to go in order. 2605. This request we got in April by a senator. the question related to managing a conflict of interest or whether there was a conflict of interest scenario. And in consultation with then Chair Lindquist, we notified the senator that we would issue the opinion. The opinion due date is coming up. We have 90 days to issue an advisory opinion. Once you send that notification, that one will be issued. That time's coming up, but in that time, we've since learned that the senator, they were asking if they could serve on a board of an organization, and they did join the board of the organization. So the facts that were asked in the advisory opinion are now moot the way we see it. Like you could still ask the question, but as far as our advisory opinion authority, it should be prospective, not retrospective. So the request here is just to notify the senator that we're going to withdraw the intention to issue the advisory opinion. But if in the future you have questions related to your service on that board, you can come back and always ask for another one if it's prospective or hypothetical in the future. So any questions on that one? The next one's pretty similar. I'll move on. 2606. This one was by a representative. And again, we notified the representative. We'd issue the advisory opinion. It related to an out-of-state event. During the course of us working on the advisory opinion, we needed some information from the event sponsor. We reached out to them, and then their response was, we don't believe any members from ND are coming because we're oversubscribed on the trip, but we will clarify. I think 2 weeks went by, and then we asked them to clarify, and then they said no ND members are coming. So the question at issue, again, is moot. The legislator was not able to go on the trip from the information we have. So our recommended action is to just notify the legislator that we're going to withdraw the intention to issue that advisory opinion as well. And that event would have already happened if the legislator could have gone on it. And then the advisory opinion was actually due July 13th. So when we do get those requests that there's an event that's going to happen before the advisory opinions due, we try to prioritize them and get them on a meeting schedule so it's actually helpful to them before they go, or if not to go, etc. But those are the two on the agenda, both similar motions to requests that we can notify them that the commission's going to withdraw the intention to issue.
Logan, are we able to combine it into both of them into one motion?
Yes.
So we can, okay.
Yeah.
So we need a motion to withdraw 20 by the numbers. Okay.
You can just
I would
reference the
I would
numbers.
entertain that motion.
Madam Chair, I would move to withdraw advisory opinion requests 26-05. Withdraw our intent to issue an advisory opinion for requests 26-05 and 26-06.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, Connor, will you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Yes.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
The motion has passed. Our next, now we're into the complaints. Okay, I got to get my right. I have to get my, the next item on the agenda is complaint numbers 23-014, 24-008, 24-013, 24-015, 24-031, 24-035, 25-004, 25-021, 25-022, 25-038, 25-039, 25-047, 25-048, 25-049, 25-050, 25-051, 25-052, 25-053, 25-054, 25-055, 25-056, 25-057, 25-060, 25-061, 25-062, 25-068, 25-075, 25-076, 25-077, 25-078, 25-079, 25-080, 25-081, 25-082, 26-001, 26-013, 26-021, 26-022, 26-023, and 26-024, hereinafter referred to as the complaints. This item must be discussed in executive session. The legal authority for closing this portion of the meeting is Century Code Sections 5466-12-1, 54-66-12-3, and 44-04-19.21. The topic or purpose of this executive session is discussion on the complaints. Information regarding the content and parties to an Ethics Commission complaint is confidential. As a complaint must be discussed in executive session, no motion is needed to enter executive session. The executive session will be recorded, and all members of the governing body are reminded to limit their discussion during the executive session to the announced topic. Any collective decision, collective commitment, or other final action by the governing body must occur after it reconvenes in an open meeting. The prohibition on taking final action during the executive session does not apply to providing guidance or instruction to our attorney. We will now ask the members of the public who are attending the meeting to leave the meeting. We anticipating adjourning the executive session and reconvening the open portion of the meeting in about 90 minutes. The minutes will show that the executive session began at 11:30 and was attended by all 5 of the commissioners. The minutes will show that the executive session was adjourned at 12:29 p.m. The public has been invited to return to the meeting, and we are now back in open session. I will entertain any motions at this time.
Madam Chair, I move to summarily dismiss complaints number 25004, 25038, 25039, 25047, 25048, 25049, 25050, 25051, 25052, 25053, 25054, 25055, 25056, 25057, 25060, 25061, 25062, 25075, 26013, and 26022 for lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
Madam Chair, I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, Connor, will you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Yes.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
Do we have someone to make a motion?
Ma'am.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Madam
Nope.
Chair. Madam Chair, I make a motion to summarily dismiss complaint numbers 25021 and 25-022 for failing to comply with the Commission's rules and North Dakota Century Code 54-66-01 subsection 1.
I second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Seeing none. Connor, will you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Aye.
and Commissioner Sharp Western.
Aye.
Okay. Mark, were you going to make the next one?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move to summarily dismiss complaint numbers 26021 and 26024 for lack of personal jurisdiction.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none. Connor, will you take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Aye.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Motion is passed. And we have one more motion.
Indeed, Madam Chair, with respect to complaints 25068 and 26023, I move that those complaints be summarily dismissed because the complaints, the allegations made in the complaint are insufficient to identify a violation.
I second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? And Connor, will you please take the roll?
Chair Sharp,
Aye.
Commissioner Hubrights,
Aye.
Commissioner Edison Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Lieben,
Aye.
and Commissioner Western.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passed. I want to take just a second to thank Faith and Ashley for all the hard work they did. And I'm sure you learned a lot during this. You did a very, very nice job. We really appreciate your work, very much so. I have one more thing. I have asked Rebecca that starting at our next meeting, which will be a regular monthly meeting, that they bring forward all the complaints that were filed since the last meeting so that we can take a look at them and get rid of any of them right on the spot, if that's possible. And I'm not sure exactly how that process will work, so we'll probably have to kind of figure it out once we do that. So that will start at our next meeting. I think we've covered everything now. Is there, next meeting is a little less than 2 weeks, July 22nd. And really appreciate you being here for this first meeting. Next time you'll be able to be online in Fargo and you'll at least have met us. So that will be helpful. We're very happy to have you here, as well as you, Kelly.
Thank
Very
you.
happy to
And I echo, I had this conversation with Rebecca. Obviously, you guys have been in the news, and then I brought you into the news a little bit more, with my appointment, but it was in all my years of being a part of a committee or an organization, the welcome from this committee was honestly the best. That says a lot about this group. So thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca, do you have any comments?
Before we sign off, I just also wanted to echo how appreciative as staff, full-time staff we are of having the interns on this summer and how much work we've been able to get done with extra people. And so really appreciate you guys. I just want to make sure that the public is aware. Without them, this amount of work would not have happened. And really appreciate it more than I can articulate.
And I echo those comments. I would note, like, the amount of complaints that we just got through. We closed 20, by my count, 26 complaints. That leaves 16 pending. So more than half of them we'd be able to cut through with their work.
It's a good demonstration what can happen and what we can get done with a little extra help.
And Rebecca, what have you called this, or Victoria, that they are our proof of concept, that if we get some help like that, we can get our work done.
Yes, so that's the term that I see Victoria just popped back on too. But that's what she's used as proof of concept, and it really is another word that we've used is a oh shoot, now it just went out the back of my head. But a highly responsive ethics commission where we're able to quickly respond to issues that come to us instead of having them sit until we get around to them. So this is proof that if we have just a little bit more help, we're able to do that.
Okay, and with that, the meeting is adjourned.